After looking at Poland's air-droppable Aero 4x4, we thought it would be fun to continue examining similar vehicles used by air-mobile forces. That's why we're looking at the French Fardier for today's video, a vehicle we were first introduced to during a media event in Estonia in the autumn of 2025, which had us observing French paratroopers firing and then transporting 120mm mortars. As explained in an article from jointforces.com, the word Fardier is a very old French military term for a horse-drawn dray used for transporting heavy artillery. Indeed, if you enter the word into a Google image search, you'll get this, but you'll also get a lot of this, which looks like a pretty fun machine. The vehicle's full name is actually the Fardier Rider. Our understanding is that Fardier is the program name selected by the French military, while Rider is the name given to the model as designed by a French company, Unac. Since Unac won the French tender, it just put the two names together to form Fardier Rider. Rider is an acronym which stands for Rapid Intervention Droppable Equipment for Raiders. The vehicle you see here was the winner of a 2016 program launched by France's military procurement agency, the DGA. It's explained that various companies put forward vehicles for consideration, including entries from Sofram, Ulant, Arcus, Polaris, and of course Unac, which won the competition in the fall of 2017. Unac explains that its Fardier was an original design and that company engineers started from a blank sheet. Before delivering the 5 prototypes to the French forces, Unac carried out a number of industrial tests, some of which were observed by DGA experts in order to prepare qualification tests. As far as we can tell, the vehicle made one of its earliest public appearances at Eurosatory 2018 while still in its prototype form, with the product highlighted as being a tool designed for special forces. Running this video's transcript through a translator, it stated that the Fardier was actually designed in collaboration with special forces. It's also said that one major difference with the vehicle is that there are no electronic elements as part of its system, components that complicate things and have the potential to jeopardize reliability, likely something that many of us can appreciate in this day and age where everything seems to be reliant on touchscreens and difficult-to-replace sensors. A Unac write-up on the vehicle adds that the company's decision to eliminate all electronic components was meant to increase availability and reduce maintenance costs. It then states, "In the age of connected devices, this original choice warrants careful consideration." But getting back to the video, it concludes by stating that 300 vehicles have been ordered and delivery was to begin in 2021. JointForces.com and Defense News in their articles repeat similar information, stating that 300 of these vehicles were ordered for French Army Special Forces and paratroopers. A 2025 Unac write-up states that the vehicle part of the system was qualified in the spring of 2022 and cleared for serial production. Adding more detail to France's order, it said that the forces plan to acquire 300 Fardiers and 172 trailers by 2027. And so, when it comes to capabilities, the Fardier is one of a few vehicles that can be dropped from tactical cargo aircraft. Drop configurations include the Fardier by itself, Fardier with a trailer, and finally the Fardier with a towed mortar. The unpacking time after dropping is less than 5 minutes, and it's highlighted that an Airbus A400M is capable of carrying up to 10 riders. The rider can also be loaded into a Cayman, the French Army's version of the NH-90. The French Ministry of Defense adds that airborne transport of the vehicle is possible in the C-130, Casa C-295, and the aforementioned A400M, and is heli-transportable under slings. For dimensions, overall length is 2.6 meters, overall width 1.6 meters, overall height 1.9 meters, and height under floor 300 millimeters. Some call it an ATV, while other sources have called it a Jeep. Looking at the rider, we'd say that it fits somewhere between an ATV and Jeep, as Jeep feels a little too generous, while ATV doesn't seem to capture its full abilities. Additionally, as this website explains, ATVs most often have handlebars. This same website explains the difference between ATVs, or all-terrain vehicles, and UTVs, or utility task vehicles. And so it does feel like the Fardier Rider is probably best defined as a UTV, an off-road vehicle that is larger and more robust than the ATV and designed for multiple passengers, featuring a steering wheel and pedals for handling. But however you want to define it, the Fardier is an off-road 4x4 vehicle powered by a 60-horsepower Caterpillar 4-cylinder diesel engine that powers a hydrostatic transmission. Driven by this robust engine, which can handle high-sulfur, high-moisture fuels commonly encountered in operations, a pump supplies pressurized oil to a hydraulic motor. The front wheels are mounted on double wishbones, while the rear wheels use trailing arms. This entire drivetrain is mounted on a tubular frame that forms the chassis. The truck's layout is organized around 2 crew seats in the center and 2 cargo platforms, one at the front and one at the rear. This allows for the transport of a stretcher for medical evacuation, cargo, or mortar ammunition. The payload is said to be up to 900 kilograms, while the vehicle features an empty weight of 1,900 kilograms. This makes for a combat weight of 2.8 tons. The trailer has an empty weight of 400 kilograms and a payload of 350 kilograms. It is also capable of towing the French MO-120 RT mortar, which again is what we witnessed during our media trip to Estonia. For self-defense, the vehicle can be armed with 2 7.62mm machine guns. Comparing it to vehicles in a similar or similar-ish role, Poland's Aero 4x4 has a combat weight of 3.5 tons and its max engine output is 130 horsepower. Moving further up, Germany's Caracal 4x4 has 249 horsepower and a combat weight of up to 4.9 tons. And so you can see that the Fardier is very much on the lighter end of the spectrum of air-droppable utility vehicles. The first regiments to be supplied with the Fardier were the 35th Parachute Artillery Regiment, the 17th Parachute Engineer Regiment, and the 11th Parachute Command and Signal Company of the 11th Parachute Brigade Headquarters. And so that's everything we could find about the Fardier Rider by UNAC. At the time we're making this video, the platform is only in service with the French military, although based on its frequent attendance year after year at the major defense exhibition that is Eurosatory, we're sure that UNAC would be thrilled to find customers further afield. It's a pretty cool little vehicle, even if it's extremely basic with zero protection from the elements. With this in mind, operators will be quite miserable in the rain, and the machine is going to perform quite poorly in snow and will definitely have trouble in deep mud or sand. As such, its usefulness is a little more limited than, say, the tracked German tankette known as the Weasel, although we must admit that the two vehicles have very, very different roles, even if they're both air-droppable and used by air-mobile forces. But ultimately, when considering its 4 small wheels and relatively small engine, mission planners will have to think carefully about terrain in the area of operations and whether the little Fardier is up to the job. But, well, anywhere there are roads and hard-packed earth, this little utility vehicle should perform well, especially when considering the machine's simplicity and resulting reliability. But what do you think of this vehicle? Do you think too much has been sacrificed for compactness and air-droppability? Let us know by leaving a comment.